can I jump in as an outsider, right?
You guys are doing completely too much right now, by the way. You guys are doing too much. Sam, first of all, you asking if we had a good performance in 2025.
Fall off so bad.
Okay. Let me speak now. First of all, no one expects us to win the league this season. I don't care about the 1 or 2 Liverpool fans, but 99% of us didn't. We said we're going to challenge, finish third, and win a domestic cup. That's what we said. 99% of us said the same exact statement. Second of all, this is Arne Slot's first season with only signing Federico Chiesa, who he locks up in his basement before every game. Third of all, Tom is 100% right. I agree with Mike that we can criticize. There's nothing wrong with that. But to say that, I'm not feeling good about this title. Of course, I'm feeling good about this title because, first of all, we equal Man United's trophy.
Nobody said that.
No one said we're not feeling good.
Yeah, but that's what you're implying. You don't have to specifically say something verbatim. It's the way that you're speaking. So, number one, we're gonna equal Man United's league titles. So now there's no point of singing 20 times Man United at Old Trafford because the other club also has 20 times. So that's gone. They can't say that they're a bigger club than us. In Slot's first season, where he's still trying to figure out the league, where he made no signing whatsoever, he is going on to win the English Premier League. That is enough reason for you to be happy. Now, I understand that you might have certain things like if Salah leaves and if Van Dijk leaves, yes, that will have like a dark spot on it. But Trent leaving, with all due respect, 90% of us said he's going to go to Madrid. Like that wasn't breaking news to me personally.
I agree with you. I agree.
So I was like, okay, yeah, he's gone to Madrid. And the other thing is, the reason why we're down over the last 2 match reactions is we expected to beat PSG at home, and there is no excuse for it. And we expected to beat Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, and there is no excuse for it. So those 2 games, was a negative moment in the season overall. But overall, go back to August. Terry, first match reaction. Away at Ipswich, we win 2-0. If Terry offered you a league title and nothing but the league, in August you would all taken it. So that's the thing. So we have to be objective about this.
Hey, Sam, listen, I was going to say before you interjected, I think from an outsider, I'm not going to tell Liverpool fans how they should or shouldn't feel. I can look at it and go how I may feel, but of course I'm very biased because of how bad my club is right now. So I look at where you are about to win a league title, and I would absolutely love to be there. But I do hear what Sam and Mike are saying because I am not emotional about what Liverpool are doing. So I'm only hearing it. And it was only during the game when Staffy tweeted, how has this Liverpool team run away with the league? I mentioned Chelsea 2014-15 because that 2014-15 Chelsea team started the campaign like a freight train and looked absolutely unbelievable. They faded in the second half of the season. And a lot of that was put down to, at the time, it's okay, they'd won the league, they took the foot off the gas. Then they never picked up form again. So I can understand some Liverpool fans looking at the potential players leaving, some of the greatest your club's ever had, the drop-off in form, the ideas that were working under Slot suddenly not working, and then starting to think about next season at the same time. So I'm not saying that is how I would be behaving 100% but I'm only observing this as an outsider. I'm just not seeing the same buzz and the same energy and the same excitement by and large from Liverpool fans. I was talking to Cal from Coppish, and he was saying, like, compared to when they won the league, he was talking about his channel. And we as YouTubers can often tell fan bases I can tell that Chelsea fans have checked out for the season, because even when they've won games recently, the level of interactions and viewers and people, even down to people messaging me and KJ saying, can I come on and talk about my team, has dropped by about 80-90%. One good summer and a good pre-season and everybody comes back. It's the way it is. So I'm just noticing it more with Liverpool this time compared to before. And I do think there's a different feeling. Plus, you won one a few years ago, so it isn't like a brand new feeling. But I just I was interested in everybody's views on it. Personally,
there is one thing though, the performance today did not help our spirits. This is something we also have to be honest.
And I get that. And Don made a good point here. And he said it's nice to hear some people that want to analyze performances and not just results-based analysis. This is how often teams like Arsenal have become mad overrated, because you just look at their results. And look, I sort of understand where Don's coming from. I think sometimes I always say this to KJ, I'm like, when you tell people they're coming on, please, I know we want to do a better job of this next season on the Terrace. I want match reaction to be more about the game then I think the back end of the shows we can touch on some more overarching topics, but I really want it to be about the game rather than it always being, because we've had quite a few this year for all teams where it just goes back to the same talking points. I'm like, well, we can do that on Top 6 show tomorrow or Straight Facts, but like I think you do need to look at the performances. I think that's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
At the same time, what I would say is there are moments in seasons where performances don't matter. And one thing I would say the one thing I disagree with when it comes to Mike, unless you're feeling that this is going to hang over into next season and the players leaving is going to drag you down, you're not playing for anything other than points now to get over the line. And what you'll find in another couple of games is all of your players are going to be on the beach. And that's something I don't think we can ignore as football fans. Once your players' heads are on that beach, it is so hard. And you'll also start seeing, like, you look at teams like Man United, we've got a really hard run of games. You might find we win a few matches nobody expects us to. And it's because the team we're playing are also playing for nothing. Everyone's relaxed. It's also hard to do performance analysis at that stage of the season as well. So I think there has to be a bit of balance when it comes.
I think certain games need performance analysis as well. And I think there's a weird sort of light shined upon our recent form, because I think our recent form gets done with a bit of results-based analysis. We've picked up, in terms of 2025, we've dropped points in 4 games. In 2024, we dropped points in 4 games. But we've gone into this second half of the season, and the points that we dropped were away to Aston Villa, where we battered them, and Nunes and Jota decided to miss 2 massive chances, and we draw that game. Away to Everton, where everyone on this panel and everyone who's been on any other Liverpool panel I've been on agrees that game should have been a win. At least one of the goals shouldn't have counted, so that game should have been a win. If that happens, all of a sudden we're going, fucking hell, what a second half of the season we've had. I just look at it. Teams in the second half of the season, and it happens every single year. Teams adapt.
Man United.
Man United was a bad game. You have bad games. You have
one individual had a bad game in that game, to be fair, though.
Yeah, the man who the second best scout right back at the football club.
And I'll be biased about that as well. We played really well.
United pulled out the arse for that game.
I get it, and look, that's why I like to ask the questions and have conversations. Because the one thing I would say I've noticed more and more in the last few years about Liverpool fans is more of you are getting your own minds. A lot of you are leaving communist Merseyside, which is brilliant to see, and giving your own opinions rather than, because I asked that question the other day, and some of the people in the comments about, is it taking in a little bit of the players maybe leaving? Is it taking any edge off your sort of party for the end of the season? And there was loads of no's really quickly in the comment section, but the speed of the no's being typed told me the answer was yes, because again, it's the and I think it would. I don't remember it happening at Man United, but if we would, if we were to be in your position next year, miraculously winning the league, and we're like, wow, look how well we did it, but the 3 or 4 players that are instrumental were all potentially leaving, I would feel a little bit like that, because this is the thing. I know what Liverpool fans want. It's the same as what Man United fans want. You don't just want to win one league. You really want to go back to back. You guys want to create legacy teams that have achieved what the greats have.
So problem.
So I do get it. I do get it. And I think the analysis has to be fair. But yeah, I hear you.
I just think for Liverpool Football Club, in the moments with the situation that we inherited this season, the situation the manager inherited this season, I do not want to lose sight of what we've achieved and what we've done. And I'm not letting any rival fan who sits there and goes, you only won because City didn't turn up, or you only won because Arsenal, this, that, and that.
No,
I'm not letting any of that
shame me.
Wrong. I am looking at this season as what it is. I will address what happens in the summer when it happens in the summer. But I don't want to sit here and now start tarnishing this season with a brush without looking at the full context of what we've achieved and the levels that we've shown.
Last word from Sam on this, and we'll go back to Super Chats. Go on, mate.
I was going to say, don't get me wrong. The first thing I said was that, well, I'll always admit, Liverpool win this league because we mashed work at the beginning of the season. Nobody could touch us. So if you're looking at just the season in general, we don't have to play that good to even win the league. 100%. But my thing is, what are we going to carry on to the next season? What are we going to lose also?
Yeah.
What are FSG going to do?
Yeah. And I understand why that's a sobering thought. I mean, there are Man United fans, and I'm going to relate to this, who are great. I can see improvements here. I understand we need better there, but they have no faith we're going to have a good enough summer to improve it. So they're not relaxed. So I do understand where you're coming
I just
from.
don't think, last thing, Teddy, before we move on, I just don't think there is any point in wasting breath and wasting stress and wasting anything on that at the minute when all the stuff that you'd use in the past is not in play anymore. The manager who in the past is not in play anymore. The people making decisions in the past are not the same people.
To it again.
Sam. The manager in the past who was making these decisions and who was keeping players beyond their expiration, that he's not here now. The people upstairs who were in power in the past 2 years where we felt we lost sight of our strategy and everything that we wanted, they're not here anymore. It is an entirely new thing.
Has gone wrong. The new manager
by the old brush.
Look, I'd say the thing that's really got us all, and it's probably got a lot of Liverpool fans, is it's probably the PTSD of Manchester City always fighting us all the way to the end of the season, and us losing the league by a point here, a point there. So I think that has got in people's heads recently, and it doesn't help with the media, who are literally just making it out like the league is it's nothing, like it's not a big deal, like it's only the league. Like, because we haven't won the Champions League, or we haven't won the...
But I also think what's happened as well is we've got into this space where people are a little bit scared to talk with... People either don't talk with any chest when it comes to their club or confidence, or that's my team, and back them loudly, or they do it in a way that is so arrogant that other fans go, oh, I ain't going to join in now because they're going to think I'm like them. So I do find there's a lot less people now, whether their team's good, bad, or indifferent, that say too much. And I think we just need a bit more of that back. Watching you and Sam argue, though, Tom, you ever seen those movies where they're only World War II films and the young lads are all going off to fight? And you'll get some that are like, right, I'm going out to a party. It might be the last chance I get. And then you get the others that are all quiet and like, I'm really, really scared. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, it's just like watching two different people in that same scenario. Like, your whole world could be over in 24 hours. Some go out with a bang.
I'm worried about players leaving when they leave. I'm enjoying what I've got.
I'll give you an example, right? I always remember a friend of mine. We were in a house share together, and it was basically his dad had a council house, and his dad moved out years ago. We were living in it. We shouldn't have been in it because it was cheap, but we were, right? We just kept the name going. And I was living with my mate and his brother Danny. His brother Danny wasn't very well. He had a real bad mental health issue at the time. And the council turned up to say, oh, where is, I'm not going to say his government name on it. Where is Mr. So-and-so? And Danny just went, oh, he moved out 12 years ago. He lives in Nottingham now. So we then got this eviction letter sent. We had to leave. But he got the letter, Danny, and stuck it in a drawer. Demonstrated 3-month eviction notice. Anyway, like a month and a half, 2 months went by, and their mum was round, and she found it. She called us. I weren't in, but got in, and then my brother got to go in like 2.5, 3 weeks. Got to find somewhere new to live, right? I was panicking. I was like, I had to borrow a bit of money because I was young, no money. I had to get a deposit for a place. I had to find somewhere. All these things, I was stressing. And every day I'd come on, I found this place. We'll go view it tomorrow. And I was like, Phil, like, are you all right? And he'd be sitting on his PlayStation, sitting back going, yeah, like, it will work out, won't it? And I'm sitting there going, how are you so chilled, right? I am stressing. And I suppose that's just the difference in people at times for the same scenario. Who gives a F? We're winning the league. Give me 5-1-0s and we could lose all the rest 10-0. I don't care. And do you know what, Bird? Listen, I understand where you're coming from as well, my friend. And what I liked about what Don said earlier, though, was really interesting because I might do this as a separate debate on the Top 6 show tomorrow, fully. But you'll often hear if performance-based analysis is more important than results, then it smashes to pieces that having 95 points makes you a better team than a team that has 85 points. Because the points is results-based analysis, but rather than just performances. Although you could argue more points means more consistent performances. The problem with the points total argument is that, yes, some of the massive points teams have had in the last 7-8 years are more than teams from 20 years ago. But then to Don's point, that Arsenal are overrated. But look at the high level of points totals they've had coming second for a couple of years that have been good enough to win multiple league titles in the past. So if they're if you go by the points totals dictate who the better teams are, even if they're second or third, can you say a team like Arsenal are overrated? If we're going to look at performance-based analysis and how well you performed rather than all the wins that you got, then the points total thing maybe is quashed. I'm not giving any answers to it. I just thought it was when he said it, it just made me think. Because I've seen a lot of people in the recent years go, team that gets 90 plus points is more than 95% of all the Premier League winners of all time. Let's just say for a moment, fair argument. But I swear Arsenal got 90 odd points last year, or 89 points, or whatever it was they got. What did they get last year?
89.
89, right? Which is one off of 90. I still think 89 points. If you look at the first 20 years of the Premier League, how many teams got more than? Like, do you get my point, right? So if you're going to say it's based on performances, fair enough. But if points totals or you're like, if you're someone that advocates that a team that got 95 points is better than everything that came before them, how can you call a team like Arsenal overrated? I think it'd be a really good debate to have on shows, but you'd have to find the right mix of people that think differently on that. But yeah, I get where Don's coming from.